I don't know if I've ever heard an adequate definition of one versus the other.
Right. There certainly is, in the terminology in this area, there is a lot of confusion.
Right.
And there aren't any really good definitions.
Right. I have heard it suggested that transvestite has taken on almost a pejorative connotation, and so sometimes people may stay away from it for that reason, but I'm not sure. It's a commonly used word.
It is, and certainly I have heard the definition that suggests that cross-dressers differ from transvestites in that transvestites have some kind of a fetishistic aspect to their dressing.
So how is it different between cross-dressers and transvestite? How is it different?
I honestly, I am not sure. And being that I am neither, it's hard for me to make any kind of a qualified statement on it. But there is a lot of confusion, and I do understand that. And I'm not sure that that's a question that we're going to answer anytime in the near future. I think... I
don't think the professionals, quote-unquote professionals, who write the definitions have agreed on an answer to that question yet.
Okay. And I thank you very much for your cooperation.
Thank
you for calling.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
I was gonna say earlier that what Donna Rose had done with her son was to basically explain to him that if a baby was born with a physical defect, you can see the defect in the newborn. You can understand that this is something that they may want to get fixed later on. When the incongruous part is in your brain, is the differentiation between your brain and your body, it's not tangible, it's not visible. The only thing that you can actually see from the outside is the distress the person's going through. How withdrawn they are, how depressed they are, how suicidal they might be. There's no physical evidence of it. But certainly as a corollary, you might try and make that association, that a physical defect, they go to a doctor to get fixed. And that's what we do.
Right. Okay. Good evening, this is nlcTrans. You're on the air.
Hi, I'm 18 and I'm thinking about coming out to my parents. I was wondering if you guys have any advice.
Oh.
That's definitely a very challenging thing. I commend you for considering it at 18. None of us did. It takes a lot of courage.
It really does.
As far as advice, you know your parents better than we do and how they might react to the news. And putting the fear and anxiety aside, if you think your parents are, they're your parents.
Yeah.
You know, they're still going to love you after you tell them that. That's not going to change.
Yeah.
They may not have a real warm reaction immediately afterwards, but they might surprise you. I've been surprised by my own family. I came out to them earlier this year, and almost to a person, I was very surprised at how supportive they were, how curious they were to learn more.
Yeah, that's true. I think that all of us have been through that. We've all been somewhat surprised at how accepting people really are.
Sometimes it takes a little while.
It does.
I had to come out to my mom twice. Once before I went into counseling and once after. And in retrospect, maybe I should have waited till after I had been through some counseling. But the first time, it was just a question of what she heard. She heard me telling her that I was gay rather than transsexual. So I had to go back again later and say, well, no, the actual message was that I was transsexual. So you may have to keep at it.
And
I certainly think that counseling should be an aspect of this. I think that a counselor would help.
Yes, certainly offering that up to your parents, if they're not, even if they are very accepting, it could be very useful to tell your parents that you'd like to see a family counselor with them, just to make sure that you can talk openly and you cover issues. But I would also consider from your standpoint, obviously what's going to be going through their head. They are your parents, and I think they're probably the hardest people in the world to tell. They're going to have, or not going to, parents have expectations of their children, whether they believe it or not. They have mapped out what they envision their kids growing up as.
That's right.
And you're going to shatter that on them. And that's a good thing for you because you need to be yourself. But recognize when you tell them that if it's not the most positive reaction, in part it's because you've turned their envisioned world upside down.
Right. So they'll go through the grieving steps.
Right.
Well, thank you guys for all of your advice.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And
have a wonderful evening.
certainly, if you want, get a hold of us through the website, through our own website, or through the Yahoo group, and we'll be happy to help provide you any support we can.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Come see us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. It's a hard one. That is a hard one, but but yeah, you just have to give your family some time and let them sort of get used to it. But generally, my experience has been that after a while, once they realize that that you're not growing an extra head or something.
Right. And once they realized that I was happy for the first time in my life,
right?
Certainly all.
Give your parents time. Give your family time.
And that was for me, that was a very important aspect. People saw me go from being miserable to being very, very happy. And that's something that we all sort of share is we've spent most of our lives being miserable, and this is what made us happy. And people see that, and I think they can understand that it is a good thing.
I think I'd also want to point out that I started coming out to my parents about 4 years ago, and it hasn't been until this past year, as I've moved further in my transition and come out more publicly, that my mom and my dad have seen the changes to my personality, how much happier I am. I'm not hiding in the dark corner at home. I'm not dejected all the time. And they have really now come around and accepted me because they want me to be happy. They like what they see now.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's just there are difficulties.
There are difficulties.
But all in all, it's a good thing. It's been very good for me, and I think for all of us. And I think that's sort of a universal thing with us, is a happiness that none of us knew before. And that is truly a wonderful thing.
Right. So
life was indescribably miserable before, just to the point where it was no longer really livable. But so I couldn't understand even relate to the concept of being happy. But I am now.
Yeah.
I would also say, at 18, expect a role reversal to some extent. You're probably going to find yourself in a position where your parents may not understand. Your parents may have questions. They're going to be probably confused, and you may have to take the parent role and not necessarily console, but provide the support to your parents when you actually drop that bomb on them.
Indeed. And certainly being able to provide them with information helps.
Don't overload them with information. That's, having the pendulum swing the other way is dangerous too. You can give them lots of info later. Just make sure, you just want to cover the basics when you're starting. If they handle that well, fine. That's been my experience and the recommendations that I've come across.
Yeah. And anyway, if you would like to talk to us about that, we certainly can provide you with some resources and information. And you can contact us through our website, through
the TALLgroup.org.
Right, TALLgroup.org. Also, we have our MySpace page. We also have a Yahoo group, and we would be happy to help you.
There certainly is. You've probably already come across it. Your parents haven't. Lots of information out there that's available at various different websites. Very good, very detailed information about transgender, transsexualism, coming out to parents, processes, surgeries, hormones, all that. It's available. It's not too hard to find, and we have some of the links available.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the amazing things about transitioning now.
In this time.
Which differs from, when I was a kid, there was no information. And
Yeah.
now with the World Wide